Hello everyone! This tutorial was requested by some of my followers and Patreon. I posted these studies on Instagram while I was exploring some possibilities of Pyro simulation. I really enjoyed the organic look of these studies, so I decided to post and share them with the community. Now let's explore how I made these and how easy it is to achieve this type of 2D animations. Before we start, I am Luis from Doxia School, and I create tutorials in Houdini to help you make the best visual effects for your motion graphic project. If you enjoy the content from this channel, please hit the subscribe and like button to help on YouTube and consider supporting our Patreon page. By becoming one of my patrons, you get access to all my exclusive tutorials and projects and give support to keep doing these tutorials to help the art community. Hope to see you around, and let's jump into the tutorial. Alright, let's place our Geonode Geometry and let's call it Organic Cells. Why not? Let's dive in and let's put a shockwave source, not the configure, because this will import all the systems and we want just the source with the points. Let me turn on the grid so we can see a bit better the size of our shockwave. And if I press play, you see that it's emitting particles and it stops at frame 5. Okay, so let's change a bit this Pyro source. Okay, so here on point separation, let's dial down this a bit so we can have more particles. On the burst animation, before burst type we have shockwave. You know, this Pyro burst source we can use to emit particles for different type of simulations, but we want the shockwave to create a nice ring, a 2D ring on the floor. Burst animation, let's increase the frame duration because now it's ending on frame 5, and let's increase to 15. So now we are emitting until frame 15. You see, on 16 it disappears. Okay, and let's go to last frame and change the interior and exterior expansion. Let's increase this maybe 6. Why not? And here let's go to 2. I think that's cool. 2 and 6. We don't need to create change anything else. We have the density here. We are creating density and the output attributes. We don't want to add velocity noise. I think if we do this, we can see the vectors of our velocity is going outwards. That's what we want. Okay. So right now we have points. As I explained in previous tutorials, to use these points on a Pyro simulation, we want to convert this to a volume. So let's go with volume rasterize attributes. Okay. And here on attributes, we want the density and we want the velocity. Okay. Only those two we don't need anymore. Here on the voxel size, let's use the same point separation that we use here. So right click, copy parameter and go voxel size and paste relative reference. Okay, so we always use the same voxel size, and let's put a Pyro solver. Okay, sorry, not a Pyro solver because this is using the normal, the new node. Sorry, we want to use Pyro, but not here. Let's put a .NET. Okay, and inside this .NET we want to use the Pyro solver. Okay, we are using the good old Pyro solver and we need to build everything. So on Pyro solver, you know, we need a volume object. Okay, or it's not volume, it's smoke object. Smoke object. Okay, be careful here because we are using the old Pyro solver. We are not using the sparse one. Okay, and even when you put Pyro solver, you go Pyro solver. You got the normal one and the solver, and the sparse. We don't want to use the sparse. We want to use the good old one. Let's link this to the first input. Okay. And we are going to fix this in a bit. And we need a volume source because we want to import our density and our velocity. So here on volume source, let's link to the sourcing, the last input on the Pyro solver. And here, the input, we want the first context because we are linking these to the first context, okay, the first input. And we want to import the density, and we want to import the velocity. Oops, here is a scalar, and our velocity is well. Let me check before, because I think, let me go to first input. Okay, the velocity is just v here, but on the Pyro solver it has to be the target field val. So here let's import the v, but we want to target field val, okay, for velocity. And right now, let me go up. Let me just see the size of our shockwave. That's why I imported the grid. So let's see when it goes to frame 15. We almost got from 10 to 10. So these are 20 on width, 20 on depth. Okay, so let's go here on smoke object. Let me press ask. Here on smoke object, let's go with 20 by 1 by 20. I'm using 1 because we are going to use two-dimensional Pyro animation. And let's change this to the floor. Okay, and let's see if this is doing anything. Hey, pretty cool. That is cool. Now, we don't want to see the density, we want to see the velocity. Okay, and let me increase this. So here you have the velocity tab. Okay, and let's change the plane to the floor, Z and X. That's something that we want. And I don't want to use streamers. Streamers means that we are using trails to see the velocity. And let's change to a plane. I prefer this much more because we are going to export this as a 2D image, and it's better to have as a plane. Let's turn off our grid so we can see this a bit better. And we will export this in a bit. Okay, right now you can see that we don't have much resolution. It's a bit pixelated. That means the division size is way too big. Let's go with 0.05. Let's go back and let's see how it goes now. Pretty cool. You might have the viewport as this one. Okay, you can see those grids to see the resolution of your plane and your Pyro solver. So if you want to turn off to export, let's go just with smooth shaded. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's see how it goes. And that's cool. Okay, now for the cool magic for the organic cells, we are going to use the Vortex Boost. Okay, and link these to the velocity input. So let me see which one is it. So oops, here. It's here. This middle one. Check here on below here where I have the mouse. When I put this, it's pre-solve. Okay, here is velocity update and advection. We want to link this to the velocity update, and we can see something happened. Okay, so right now let's turn off the target. Okay, we don't want to target. If you leave the mouse up, it will explain the target. It will smooth and everything else, but it takes process. Okay, it will be heavier. If you want, you can turn this off, and let's just boost this a bit. So right now we are visualizing the energy of these vortex boosts, and the cool thing is that this energy will create a really nice look, and it will look like cells. So let's press play. You can see they look like cells, and because it's a vortex boost, it will create tiny vortex. Okay. So right now the swirl size we have 0.2, so it is creating really small vortex and really small cells. In terms of Pyro animations and Pyro simulations that you are exploring, this means that these, where is red, they have more energy and they are creating vortex for your Pyro simulation. But in this case, we are not exploring really the Pyro, the final outcome of the Pyro. We want to explore this energy. So let's just wait a bit. It's almost on 150. So you can see how it looks on real time. Because I really like this animation. Because we have 0.2, you can see the here more at the end, it is creating vortex here, okay, vortex cells. One cool thing that I want to show you is right now we are using 0.2, but if you increase this for maybe like 4, we can see really the difference. Let me cache this a bit. You can see it is creating bigger cells. Okay, it will create bigger vortex. And let me wait a bit. We we went too high. You see on frame 90. Okay. Let's see something. Oops. Show you the cells are bigger. Let's go with 2 and maybe 5 on boost. And again, and let's see if we can see something better. But basically what I'm saying is the swirl size will change the size of the cells. It's not creating those small ones, and the strength is different. Okay, so what we can do is mix both. So we can have a bigger cells like these ones. Okay, take more time to form and so on. And we can have the tiny ones. So let's put a merge here and alt drag this Vortex Boost. Let's call it big, and this one will be small. Okay. So now here we can put back to 0.2 and dial down this bit. So right now, let's go here. Let's go with 0.5, maybe 2 on boost, and here 0.25. I don't know, just random numbers. Important thing is that this one is stronger. The big one is stronger than the small one, okay, because it's more complicated to have the bigger vortex. Okay, so let's see how it looks. Let's cache a bit. Okay, pretty cool, pretty cool. And one cool thing that I want to show you is you have this look, okay, of your cells with the energy field. But if you want, you can come here, turn off the visualize energy and use the velocity here, okay? And this is pretty cool because you can create something really different. Let me show you. If you didn't check my Instagram, let me go here. You can create something really cool like this one. Okay, this looks like at start it looks like a sun, and it's pretty cool. I really love this look, and this is the energy using the Vortex Boost. In a bit, we are exploring these pulsing effects, but right now, and this is just advecting using this velocity and advecting particles. Something really simple as that. So how do you see this sun animation? Okay, so let's go here and we go to frame 10 so we can see a bit better. Let's change this to black body, for example. This is just gradients, pre-made gradients, and let's increase this to 10 maybe. Okay, 10 is cool, and I think if this will work only for streamers, I think. So let's go, let's play. So maybe 10 is way too low. Let's go with 5, 6. Okay, that is cool. And right now you can see that we have too much strength on our small ones because, and even on the big ones, because we are creating this grid here. If you want, we can put this, push this a bit. We can try to avoid those ones, okay? But if you want, you can dial this down a bit. See how it looks. pretty cool. And we have our nice sun animation. That's pretty simple, right? So now how do you create that pulsing effect that we got here? So we have our animation going on, and then we have that pulsing effect. That's pretty easy. And why is that? Because we just need to have more burst sources, okay? Because right now we are just emitting this one. So what we want is emit this one, wait a bit, so the cells will form and so on, and then emit more shockwaves. So let's put a merge. Let's go like this. I'll drag and I'll drag. Let's go with just 3 here on our tutorial. So here on the burst animation, we have the start frame. We want to emit on the frame 1. Wait a bit so the cells will form and so on, and emit this one on frame 60 and this one on frame 90. Okay. Okay. So right now what is going on, let's go to the merge. We can see we emit this one, and then on frame 60 we will emit another one, and then on frame 90 we will emit another one. Okay. If you want, you can always have more shockwaves if you want. And now, how do you export this? You can come here to the .NET. Let's go to the top view. Okay, and let's visualize the energy. If you are using the energy, be sure that you turn off the velocity, because you will have some artifacts in the middle, because we just want to see the energy. And if you want more resolution, because as you can see, we have a few pixelated artifacts, you can always decrease the division size. This will make a better resolution for our animation. It takes more time to process, of course, but you get much better results. Okay, so how do you export this? It's pretty easy. You come here, you go click on Flipbook New Settings. Okay, this is pretty fast. You'll see this is pretty fast. Output files. Let's save these. Let's go with Flip01. Let's call it organic cells energy flip, and the important part $f4. So we will render as a PNG sequence and .png. So this will use the frame number. Okay, save each frame as an image. Press accept. Here on the size, let's change this. Let's go with 4K, but I want a square. Let's go with something like that. And let's test this out, how it looks on the camera angle. Okay, pretty cool. We have those I need those parts of the top camera and no cam, but we are going to cut this. Okay, so that's all right. And I'm going to pause the recording so we can do this. We can already see this behaving. Be right back. Let's see the flipbook, and just by checking the last frame, we can see the Vortex Boost big working here. We have a big vortex here, okay, and a few here ones. Let's press play to see how it looks. Pretty cool. And we have that pulsing effect. We have that big vortex working really nice here. Maybe too strong. One thing that you can do if you want is I can feel that our vortex boost is a little low. We don't have much vortex here. So I'm going to explain what I would do here on the vortex small. It's not working. Okay. On the vortex small, we'd go with 1.5. Okay. And maybe increase this to 4. And here, let's go with 2 and 1. On the Pyro solver, I would turn off enable combustion, shape, turn this off too, because we don't need that. and everything else is good. And maybe increase this to 25. Okay. We don't need that much, or maybe 0.04. We don't need that much resolution. And right now, let me cache again the flipbook and let's see how it looks. Okay, let's see how this looks. Last one. That's pretty cool. We have those cells working. And now we can import this render as a flipbook into our After Effects or your software for post-production of your choice. So let's go here, click, let's go double click. Let's go to our tutorial, new projects, organic cells, and I put on render flip. And here we have our sequence, and be sure that we have PNG sequence. Import, let's put this drag into this icon to create a composition. Let's Control or Command K to open the settings. Okay, that's pretty cool. Everything else works. And now let's put this on the nice spot. So let's increase the size a bit and drag so we can have this in the middle. That looks cool. Okay, pretty cool. So now how do you change the colors as I did? You can have different things to do. You can use a colorama. I think it's colorama that is called. So here you have the input phase, the output cycle. Okay, we can use the hue to work this. And for example, let me just use ramp red. You can see it's using the hue color. So as you know, this is working as hue. The small values as 0 is these strong ones, and it goes from red to all the colors of the hue. So it is applying those values into this circle, okay, this gradient. If I turn this on, you can see where it was red or lower values of hue, it will use the first input of the gradient, in this case black. So RGB will do almost the same. And you can play here as much as you want, copper. And one cool thing is that you can use black to white hue, and use this as displacement map or texture for your surface or so on. One other thing that I like to do, in this case, I use this to my study. I use the hue and then I use curves to play with it, change a bit the colors. So I changed this a bit, like maybe 18, 20, something like that. We have a nice pink color here. And then I play with the curves. Okay, that's simple as that. I went to the red and boost a bit the red. We have more pinkish. Let's see, something like that. On the green, let's see. Maybe push something like that. I'm just destroying the colors a bit. Something like that. And the blue, I don't know. That looks cool. Just put the blue more dark. Maybe boost lower values. And we have something like that. If I press space, we can see our colors working. And again, if you want, instead of playing with this hue, you can always come here and change here. If you want, change the hue. Something that you like. Let me go back to reset. We had what? Maybe something like this. And again, if you want, you can always use this one and play whatever you want. That looks cool. And right now we are using the energy, as I explained, from our Vortex Boosts, okay? But if you want, you can always come here, visualize energy off, and put velocity, and check the velocity tab here and play with it. You can use black party, you can use infrared. It will look almost the same as the boost. Okay. And white to red, black body, two tones, and grayscale. Okay, you can use these ones, for example, to directly displace a surface and so on. I hope you enjoyed this one. It was a really quick one, really quick tutorial to show you how you can play with Pyro and those boosts to your velocity and create a really cool 2D animation that look like cells are working and they look like organic cells. Hope you enjoyed this one and see you on the next one. Bye bye.